Hello and welcome. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's gonna be Dungeons and Dragons. When the camera wants to settle. Here you go, here you go. See, I told you he'd be back. We can't hear you though.
Sorry, I paused the minute not paused, like I paused my mic after realizing that y'all were coming out of the wrong speaker.
Well, that could have been fun. Alright, so...
No, that's never fun. Never want that.
What, you mean
Now with the
that...
proximity of my...
feedback loops and...
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, on that one. Alright, so... Yay! Already?
I have a great idea, guys. Let's take a microphone and put it right up against the speaker.
Let's mimic
That's
that
entertainment.
Sam, I feel like it's a bit early. Or are you really scared about what you're about to do? You're muted.
Little both.
I wrote why I subbed. It's there in the message.
Okay. So what was I saying? Yes, this is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. This is not something you want to watch? Well, too bad. We started.
Bribery and bargaining. B&B.
No, I think it's going to be breaking and entering this time. So, but if you're here because you want to watch us, you want to watch Dungeons and Dragons, and you think we're fun, because who knows, you might have weird tastes. Weird tastes that we approve of. So long as you stay civil in the chat. It's a pleasure to have you with us. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. If you like the thunderstorm in the background, it's Ambient Mixer. If you like the world map, it's WonderDraft. If you like the dungeon map, it's Dungeon Alchemist. Sorry. And if you like the town maps, it's Canvas of Kings. Starting to have a whole lot of software. And what else can I say about all this? Nothing else. Alright. So. And hopefully, tonight, I won't have to make a quick exit to empty my bowels. Although I am more prepared in case it does happen.
The only quick exit that should be made is the party out of their situation.
Yeah. Because nothing bad's gonna happen. Last episode, as proof of that, last episode, the party decided to poke the hornet's nest with a stick to see what would happen. Confident that the castle walls would not obliterate them in their first attempt to breach the outer defense of the castle, our heroes threw themselves at their target hoping to find their way inside the castle. Thanks to some skill and a tiny bit of luck, no one got vaporized. Unfortunately, in their attempts, they slightly tipped their hand, and the castle now knows someone wants something out of them. So?
We just wanted to sell Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't answer your doorbell.
Well, the problem isn't that they didn't want the cookies, they just didn't want the Girl Scouts.
Oh, I see. You should have sent the Boy Scouts.
Guys, we just huck a box of Girl Scout cookies over the wall while we're all hiding inside audiences' rooms. And then bust out when they put us in the pantry.
Wait, isn't that assuming that he even
brilliant.
makes the pantry? Like, what if that box is already empty?
I'm sure they're all on a diet right now, so they're not going to immediately open it, and they're going to save it for later. They're going to save it to celebrate when they figure out who's trying to break into the castle.
The real question is, are we Samoas or Thin Mints or
No,
like...
the only question is, are you the Girl Scout or the cookies?
Look, if this were the castle of an evil dragon, then we would probably be Girl Scouts.
All right, so hoping that everything goes well into this, we go inside. We go back inside of our story with the entire group inside of the garden. Oh yeah, we don't need the thunderstorm in the background.
Excuse me, lie. Grab it.
That's okay. So, if I remember correctly, we left. Why did we left?
We went to the garden.
Yes, I remember that. And you discussed a whole lot about what you needed to do to get through the next part. You decided to go to
We had the gnomes
yes.
work on the disguise things as non-magical thing.
Did they start on your
No,
new-
I'm keeping it because I would have to not have it, and I feel like it'll be better to have it for this attempted heist.
Yes, that's
and
right.
Then once we're done, I will.
Audience has just paid for a 24-hour service. To have what made? Why is my head so foggy tonight?
It was a device that would make all of like magical items and stuff that's around it appear
replicating the effects of Nistel's magic aura.
Yes. Sort
but
of
like
mass
in a
Nistel.
range.
And also made us look like boxes.
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
that was their addition. Yeah, we were gonna solid snake it.
But you did go for the boxes that adapt to the environment.
Yes.
They were a bit disappointed by that, but you know.
I mean, it would have been impressive if the magic actually affected the mind enough to where, like, no matter what the box was, they thought it was perfectly okay. But, you know.
That'd probably be more expensive and take more than 24 hours.
like Doctor Who's
We're on a time
like
crunch
pension
here.
thing?
Yeah. What was it called?
Like, where did all these birthday presents come from?
Yeah. Oh no, don't touch those. Those are important for something later.
That's what the presents actually say. Don't open until the boys' special day.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody just has their own idea of who the special boy is.
Yep.
On the box, it's just written, you know this is who this is for, so don't touch it. Okay.
Winky face.
Alright. So we got the garden guests.
Wait, don't open till Christmas. There, crack the code.
Well, I feel like someone would definitely try to open it if you wrote that. Alright. I knew I forgot something. Here we go. Alright.
Here's that magic trick where if you open a present before Christmas, it automatically turns to coal.
It's just a thermite charge that turns off after Christmas.
Dang.
You know, when you want to be sure, there's no other way. Violent
and now
night.
we're getting into Futurama's version of Christmas.
Oh no! Last year there was a. I think it was last year, or this is the year before that. Um, movie, a Christmas movie that came out. It was called Violent Night,
Mm-hmm.
and you realize at one point that Santa Claus is actually a Viking from 3,000 years ago, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But they made a translation of it for where I live, so in Quebec, because our French is not exactly the same French as French from France and international French. So points for effort. It's just that they got the swearing so wrong. It's sort of like if someone was trying to duplicate your swearing and was reading it too thoroughly. So instead of saying fuck, you would say every single time fuck. Oh man,
Yeah.
fuck, what are you doing? Ah, come on, it sounds so bad.
It's little.
Yeah, look, guys, I don't need my porn translated. I'm not really interested in the plot.
So yeah. So imagine we have we have five swears, and each one of them were just so poorly translated. And I get it; they wanted to put the right one in, but anyways. So
Oh, fucker of mothers.
well, if you want a class in swearing from Quebec, it's religious object usually that are chosen. So hostie, Chris, calice, tabarnak, they're all religious object that you'll find on an altar. But the pronunciation is slightly different. The accents aren't put at the same place. For example, a chalice, which is a swear in Quebec French, calice. The actual ecclesiastic word in French is calice. So instead of hearing calice, you keep hearing calice. That's why I was comparing it to someone just saying fuck instead of fuck. Other than that, the movie was fine. They're getting better. They're getting better. Our distant French cousin. They're getting better at translating for us. But it wasn't someone from here translating because, damn. All right, so enough talking about me. Now let's talk about all of you and the very easy thing you're trying to do.
Yeah, walk in the park.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we had ended with everyone going to sleep. And since it's a 24-hour job, everything would be ready next evening. So, I think I gave everyone a chance to add some preparation for that 2/3 of a day if you wanted. Research spell, prepare more, get more information. I don't know what you would be planning to do. But you have 2/3 of a day. That is, if you want to try your heist as soon as the cloaking object is done.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I guess first of all, people don't forget your attunements if those need to be adjusted in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I am going to do one small thing during those 2 third days, and it's something that shouldn't be too hard to figure out, and that's
Okay.
when I'm going to figure out when the council times and meeting times are trying to figure out when the council times of the king is, because I assume the wizard would not be in his tower during the times that the council or like the king and his advisors are meeting. So what time during the day that most likely happens? Because I would like to try and enter the tower when the wizard was not there.
I would like to assist him in trying to find that out.
Okay. So, how would that work? They wouldn't know. So, I would guess you have a few ways of trying to figure that out. The first and most obvious way would probably to try and reach out to Amiali's sister. If you can do that within half a day, because she is a prominent mage in a very important mage tower of this island chain. So if there are mages from her own tower that needs to be there, she will know about it. If not,
Bard written an autobiography about the king or for the king, where it goes over his typical daily schedule.
well,
And as everybody knows, at 1:32 p.m. precisely.
You say that in jest, but
Hell yeah.
a bard...
Who gave the king Twitter?
It's a new type of familiar.
Me and the court wizard are about to be AFK for a few hours while we discuss the deets on where we drop in. And then,
Actually, sorry, I just thought of like one of the dumbest ways that could have interpreted Twitter. Just like it's just one bird, specifically the familiar, being sent out to tell all the other birds, and then those birds go out and just tell it to everybody else in the city randomly without reason or being subscribed.
Yeah, the spell is a cantrip, and it's called Twit.
It's definitely a twit, all right.
All right, so alternative, and that is interesting that you mentioned the bard. If you can find a bard that is sufficiently well known, bards will sometime attend large gathering. So, a sufficiently well-known bard, one that would, on occasion, perform in important evenings in the castle, may know about when the next meeting is. And, of course, although that result might vary wildly, there is one person inside of the garden, one hero, who probably knows that by heart because he probably went all the way to the deepest dungeon of this castle and made a full inventory of what was interesting or not, and just came back out, just for the fun of it. Gantesh, the rogue, and Remy's master.
I really hope we don't go ask him and he's like, well, that's part of your mission. You figured.
Why are you guys struggling with this at all?
I just walked in there. What do you mean?
He's like, I've already broken into it 3 times. It's like my
Yeah.
Tuesday weekend.
I do this as a warm-up. What have you been doing?
Alright.
He comes back and gives you the stone
Well-
that you threw inside. Here.
Thanks, man.
God damn it.
Well, we can definitely go ask him. I don't know if we have any way to contact Ami Ali's sister quick enough because we didn't give her any like instant communication.
I mean,
Unless we did.
Fisher's got something
we
now.
didn't, but not today.
She asked for one and we didn't give it to her.
Mhm.
We were good boys for once from the garden. We didn't give
Yeah.
out another orb.
Imagine that a man promised a woman something and
Not have sending prepared today. However, Terry knows
Always has it
sending.
prepared. Well, Terry's never been in front of Amiali's sister,
It's not.
but you've all seen her. So if you link yourself telepathically and you all start thinking about the same person, he will at least have an idea of what he's trying to reach.
for some reason, according to audience, she's on fire.
Or maybe just Raimi shows Terry. So he doesn't get muddled by anybody else's.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Well, there is one person that only audience is seeing. And it's from a long time ago, but using the same strategy, you might actually be able to reach her. This is the first time that audience gave a bard all of his pay.
Oh, her? Yes, I do.
It's been
I
a
do
long
know who you're
time, but
talking
you
about.
knew she was a very good bard.
I gave her 20 gold.
Yeah.
Remember when I gave you that 20 gold like a year ago? It was
Actually, I'm specifically remembering the time that she came up because back when Thykar was still in the party, it's like he wanted to have like a bard off in the garden.
Oh, she
Well,
wasn't in
I
the
don't think she
garden.
wasn't a part of
No.
the she wasn't a part of the garden. She
was on your
famous
way
bard.
to the garden.
Yeah, she's the most famous bard not in the garden, I think. Or second most behind. I don't know if it's her or the Silver Tongue. I don't keep track of the rankings of bards.
Well, the silver tongue bard would definitely be an option. Although where he is right now, he might not give you a very accurate
Yeah.
schedule.
I do, however, have a tale of no.
You sure you don't want
She
to
might
tell a
also-
story about what happened in the past?
Also, to be fair, though, we were level 1 adventurers when the elf person ran into us, and she might be a little confused why some random level 1 adventurers are like trying to DM her with ascending like a year later. But let's reach out to some conducts we know more. We can talk to Remy's master. We can reach out to Ami Ali's sister. If those fail, we can maybe try reaching out to her. I can go sell my soul to that assassin guy to see if he can get me
Well,
something.
if you go talk to the rogue that's been sending all of your message, I think he's going to want to know when you are helping him break into your church.
Yeah, soon.
Well, you said that a week ago.
I meant soon. It's on the docket. We're busy. Listen, I don't need to explain the meta of the fact that we just did something for audience. I didn't want to do two things for audience in the outside world in a row. You know, that's tough to explain, isn't it? I'm kidding.
It's like I have other obligations within my group that require that I pay attention to the needs of others before my own.
I have a contract, a sole contract, that we can't have more than 2 person-oriented quests in a row.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, you have options. Of course, you can always try and figure out if someone ever did those research and if there's a book on that inside of the huge library now of the garden, but chances are low.
Remy, why don't you go talk to your master about this? Or not master. I don't know what he is to you. The high level rogue guy.
Trainer. Teacher.
Trainer.
Mentor.
Lover. I don't know what your guys' relationship is, but yeah. See if he knows anything. We can try and send something to Ami Ali, and we'll just
All right, so you have options. Which one do you do first?
I think probably asking Gemtesh would be the easiest and quickest, assuming
he gives us the answer.
He is around and we can find him.
Also that. I mean, we can call the orb. I'll call Ciro.
She answers. You're inside of the garden. She answers very quickly.
Yeah. Hey, do you know if Gemtesh is around? And if he is, would he be willing to talk to us or Remy about something? Like,
well, I can answer the first question, but I can't guarantee about the second one.
Fair enough. Is he around?
Oh, yes, he is.
Cool.
Can't find him.
Can you send him, like, I don't know if this thing is, like, text or message. Can you let him know that we're looking for him? And then that's kind of up to him if we find him or not.
Or just, could you connect us?
Or you could try and connect us, yeah.
Yes, give me a moment. It's fairly easy to do. And you wait for 2, 3...
All right, Remy.
5 seconds.
He's probably most likely to talk to you, so get in there.
That guy, Remy's actually going to slightly stand away from the orb real quick. Just not going to be in immediate sight.
Oh, smart. He'll respect that. I don't know.
Well, above table, Ravi doesn't want to immediately be associated with a call that might be interrupting him during a job. Like, can you imagine just like...
He's a level 20 rogue. He doesn't have his phone on wing.
We know he's in the garden, to be fair, so it's not like he's on something outworld. Now, he might be trying to break into, like, the main guy's quarters, but if he is... Oh, well.
He's trying to steal the gnome's supply of plutonium before they blow up the garden.
I mean, honestly, guys, even if you have your stuff on vibrate, like... You can hear a vibration.
Silent.
You silence your phone for a heist. Come on, everyone knows that.
It takes a good 30 seconds before no image appear, but you did hear. Yeah.
Okay, go, Remy. I point to Remy. Go. Talk to him. Speak.
So admittedly got a little lost in the weeds on what we're specifically asking. Are we trying to track down a bard that knows the schedule, or are we asking if he knows the
No.
schedule?
We're asking
asking
if he knows the schedule
We're asking if
first,
he knows
and
the
if he
schedule.
doesn't, then we'll go track down a
Basically,
bard.
the end goal of what we're trying to figure out is we're trying to figure out times the wizard might not be in his tower. So, like, during the evening, so that times we would want to, like, try and do the heist during, because it'll be easier to try and complete the heist if the wizard isn't there.
So
And also, during a council meeting, more guards will probably be guarding the council meeting and not the tower, which would also be helpful.
What I want to know is what exactly happened when he said yes. Did Remy look at all of you confused and you all started shouting at him and re-explaining this to him so he actually heard everything you just said? Or
No, that was above table. We'd already done that in game. He already had heard that. That was our
Again, that
first
conversation went in a few different loops that even I was having a bit of trouble keep track
What
of.
do you mean?
Okay.
Went through a few circuits there.
So what exactly did you say to the orb?
I guess one way Raimi would try to communicate the party's general query is first he might illusion it's like a funny wizard's hat, and then he would say, how would it probably go? Sorry, I was about to mix up my metaphors.
Okay.
Funny enough, I have two characters that speak entirely in metaphors. I have to remember not to do one.
Okay.
So
Remy is nervous. He's gonna hang up if you don't say something.
when does the wolf hunt its prey? This probably would have been one way he learned how to say it.
Well, the question is which prey? Because they don't require the same thing. Some ask for more preparation than others. So, which prey are you referring to exactly?
Raimi will once again emphasize an illusion of a wizard hat.
Yes, I know you want to know when a wizard is absent, but what I'm asking you is absent for what reason? There are many reasons why a wizard will be absent. Which reason do you want to know when is going to happen?
Illusion's a crown.
Vanity reasons. I know. Well, ego. Getting him out of there. That's an interesting one. Well, it depends on how much time you want to give yourself. Because, of course, every year, every notable wizard around the world tries to be there for the winter solstice. You know, because they want to figure out why the world is spewing out magic from north to south. Is there a reason to that? So many wants to know why. So there is that, which would bring him to the king's side. But there are other moments, especially right now. You know, the world is unraveling, according to some. Weather is becoming strange. There's bound to be a council for this. You know, when in the next few days, I'd say just watch the board of quests. When there's a big problem, a monster that just drops from the sky, you'll know that he'll be going somewhere to answer some questions. Well, depending on how bad the problem is, he's going to be away for a different amount of time. But those things are really worrying many nobles right now, 'cause winter is almost upon us.
Winter is coming.
Ah, shit.
So, do the nobles have enough food to keep their belly full during the harsh season? That is the real question, and not the good question about the people living under them. Well, some rulers will worry about it, but not all. Does that answer your question sufficiently well?
Enough to keep the ants full.
Because you know that if you try and infiltrate his living quarter, and he's only away because of a ridiculous meeting, just a normal half a day presence required, he can be back really quickly. The longer he's away, the more his mind is trapped with delicate things. The less problem you'll have if your stealth deficient friends make mistakes.
He responds in Chrome.
Do you think we could convince Amiali's sister to call like an important meeting somewhere far away about the specific like magical objects that you'd have to go to, because now he's a specialist on it because he owns one of them?
I don't think we could get her to do that without giving up something incredibly substantial.
Like a phone number.
I can give her my phone number. Oh, sorry, wait, no, okay.
I think to get her to do that, you'd also have to give up something quite substantial.
Like, more specifically, the garden's number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could link her to the garden, but specifically just me.
Just yours.
Yeah, one of the orbs that you had that only communicated between the The five of you? Yeah. You give her one of those.
She might get a little bit mad at me if I did that.
You're a link to the garden.
Yes, she still might get mad at me.
So, if there's nothing more to ask, I think I will be leaving. There's a gnome that feels like it is becoming a little bit inappropriate for me to talk to his belly button. Good day.
Oh, fuck.
And so his image was being shown.
Yeah. For some reason, what is implied here is that the communication orb was inside of a gnome.
Okay.
I mean, it might make less noise that way.
All right. Well, we know what we have to look out for. Now we just need to figure out if there are any meetings like that or things like that going on.
When is the winter solstice?
3 weeks.
No.
It is a beautiful moment, probably one of Raimi's favorites, but also anyone that has ever wondered about the world and its mysteries. So, I am referring to Not God in Faith. The glacial land. Far to the north, the northernmost part of the world, one can find a desert. Not desert.
Sweet.
Oh boy.
Ice
A
cream.
desert made of ice and snow.
Basically ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every year at the solstice, winter solstice, there are essentially worldwide northern lights. I don't remember how long they last. It's what I'm looking for right now. But it is strange, as it has been recognized as arcane energy, just flowing from the northernmost pole of the world directly to the southern pole. And it does so for a while, and then it stops. No one's ever been able to reach the poles, because the arcane energy creates extreme variation of weathers there. Even the best expeditions haven't been able to reach the northernmost pole because the cold becomes so intense that everything just freezes at one point. But arcane energy just pours out of that hole there, and it goes all the way to the south. For everyone else who doesn't know this, it's just an incredibly gorgeous and beautiful light show in the sky.
Mm.
And now, everybody, a detailed lecture on how the northern / southern lights work.
I don't think we can wait 3 weeks.
Nah. Is there any other meeting that could be going on besides the winter solstice?
Well, there are always affairs of the state. There is the celebration that's slowly starting. Probably next week, there's going to be the first few preparation, which are gonna start, because in general, celebration starts 1 week before and end the week after. So the next week you're gonna start seeing the first ones, those who are the most excited about this start their preparation. So there might be a few council meeting to start regulating this, to make sure that everything goes well and nothing bad happens. But those are going to be small meetings. Can't even be sure that he's going to let himself be bothered by this. He could, but he's vain and he is overconfident of his power and his abilities. So
I still think we convince Ami Ali to invite him to a meeting. Not Ami Ali, his sister.
Her sister.
And then that guarantees. I mean, we could at least see what she would ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we know he's gone.
The thing is, if I don't really trust her at all.
She's fine.
And if we ask and she gives a price we're not willing to pay, then she knows we're trying, and
she wouldn't sell us out. That's not
you
what
don't think she'd sell us out?
No, she wouldn't sell us. Like, that's not her thing. She'd offer us a price we weren't willing to pay it. She'd be like, okay, it wouldn't help us. She's not going to help us out of the kindness of her heart. She wouldn't sell us out for.
We could always cause some trouble.
I mean, we did with that. He didn't. I
Well,
think we'd have.
we caused trouble.
I'm not sure we could cause enough trouble to get him to actually leave for an extended period of time.
Anyway, George might have a problem if you tried to do this, because it would mean that you would have created a world-disturbing event. So he might have a problem with you destabilizing the world like this.
Well, Raimi might have difficulties communicating this precisely, but especially bringing back up a comment about like the wording of like the nobles and their food, and then repeating, "We could always cause some trouble."
You want to poison some nobles?
Shakes his head.
Okay.
It's like, do they currently have a map of that area?
Yeah, stop, become bandits.
Raimi,
I don't really
audience,
want to destroy
but
food stores, if that's what you're talking about.
Like, Raimi points to both of you and then makes a so-so motion and kind of brings them together with his hands.
Do we even know if that'll be enough to get the wizard's attention, though?
Robin Hood.
It's like Raimi's going to point to all themselves and shake his head, and then he's going to. It's like flip a gold coin, and then makes a bunch of footsteps, like a lot of footsteps, like hitting the ground.
Like a crowd or a marching army footstep kind of thing.
More like a crowd.
Okay.
Incite the city populace to steal the nobles' food stores / hire somebody.
Raimi is going to. Do we actually have a map of that general area, or not really?
Well, we do have a map of the world. Well, the island chain. So.
I mean, I guess Raimi would do is like roughly, if he, I guess maybe he would just pull out a map real quick, point to the place where he knows that the city is, but then extend his finger out a little bit and then make a circle around it, or like kind of like draw a circle around it.
Sorry, I can't hear. I can't help you. Ohunak is not there, and all I can tell you is that Tolteran is next to a forest. There is a river that goes through the forest and that extends behind Tolteran and goes to a lake. And there are 3 towns, one to the east, one to the south, and one to the southwest. At least a town to the southwest, and the 2 other are villages. So
Get somebody to disrupt supply lines to the city.
The Raimi makes a so-so motion, but taps his beak. It's like so like Raimi would then point to one place near the city, then another place, then another place, then another place, then another place, then another place. Kind of arbitrarily, since he doesn't know the specific locations. But
are you wanting to hit all of the neighboring towns' supplies?
Raimi nods.
Okay.
That seems extreme.
Remy,
I mean,
there is one thing that you know that
It
maybe Zachary has forgotten, but you have been told that your guild was slightly crossed, that you hadn't warned them that you had claimed the city in their name. So you know that your guild has a foothold in this island chain. There might be someone in the town of Septane from your guild there. You might be able to have some help. You are, after all, a poaching guild.
Well, no, I haven't forgotten that.
Okay.
Just wasn't sure if they would be open and available to do this kind of job for them. But
the only way to know is to ask. But I'm just reminding you that it could be a possibility. If you wanted to go try and play Robin Hood, your guild certainly would have the necessary skill set. Poaching, going to hide in forest, making attacks on neighboring villages. That's certainly in their skill set.
Yeah. Again, this feels like more of a long-term thing. So,
It would
maybe makes a so-so motion.
Yeah.
It would
I
take
don't know
a
if-
little bit of time before they start reacting.
Yeah. I feel like that would be... I don't know how much the wizard would be dealing with that.
Oh no. Fisher, from inside of you, you hear Terranad say, well, why don't we take a book out of Brainless and try and find their food store and teleport it out?
I mean,
Again, I don't want to cause actual issues for the city, though.
After you incited a full-on like
Right.
riot.
That was a fun. That was a fun. It didn't cause long-term issues for the city that I know of.
Above
next
table.
time we go back, there's going to be like martial law declared.
I mean, above
or
table
they'll have
though.
positive reform.
Above table though, it's just being teleported from one location to another.
Yeah.
It's not being destroyed. It's disruptive enough to get the higher ups involved. It's like, but not enough to actually cause an issue because ultimately it can just be teleported back.
Mm-hmm. Also,
and basically nothing of value was lost. Well, except maybe a rod, but you know.
yeah. I feel like to get the wizard involved, we would have to. I mean, we could or have someone pull a magical heist. Like, obviously, be using magic to go get the food or something. So I feel like that's the only way the wizard's gonna get involved, and not just like the city guard.
Are we suddenly going to Persona 5 this, only instead of the Phantom Thieves, we're the Magic Thieves?
We also now need to plan a whole nother heist to do this, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other.
I mean, it worked out for Carmen Sandiego.
I feel like I was literally just trying to look for a time when the wizard was out of his tower for a couple hours. I wasn't needing him also to be like gone.
Yeah.
We could teleport the wizard somewhere.
Well, the main issue that maybe this conversation has made it easy to forget is that the minute that we trip over some kind of like alarm or trap or what have you that alerts him to what's going on, however far away or however much involved he is in whatever task he is at.
Back. Yeah, he'll probably just teleport back.
Well, then it doesn't matter the distance as much.
Oh. Unless it's something he like wouldn't
distance and distraction
away from.
Yeah, but the whole point is we're gonna try and not trip an alarm.
I mean, we're gonna try. We're gonna trip an alarm. Something is gonna go off. We can't. There's no way we're that clean.
Yeah, so we get as far as we can before we trip an alarm. That was always the plan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't think getting him is further away than I just really wanted him there, not there initially. So initially it was easier to get through the initial stuff.
I mean,
the
initial stuff's gonna be the easy stuff. The late stuff's gonna be the hard stuff. But I mean, yeah, I don't really see a feasible.
Yeah, I don't think we need to
short-term option that would keep him away, even if something went off. Like, also that we're willing to do.
No, I think we literally just have him go. That's why I was literally just trying to figure out the king's mean, so he was just there. Not in the tower.
So he doesn't live with the king, but he's one of his counselors. Which tells you that the king probably relies more heavily on another wizard than him. And it's more of, when he calls everyone, it's more of a, all right, all hands on deck. We have something to solve. I need you all to figure a way out of this now.
it doesn't also probably spend all day at his tower.
I mean, wizard.
So here's the
They
thing
aren't known
with
for going out.
here's the thing with wizards. They don't. You're right. They don't spend all their time inside of the tower. And Fisher would know this. Well, technically, Remy would also know this. Sorry, a French word got mixed into this. Remy would also know this. A wizard will leave its tower to go gathering spell components. It is often considered to be the moment where they are at their most vulnerable. Because they are replenishing components, which means it's the moment where they have the fewest spell available. So there is that moment. But they're not going to make it easy for someone to find them because they know it's when they're at their most vulnerable. A wizard will also leave its tower if there's something of interest outside of the tower.
I mean, we could tip him off to where the other pillars might be.
Yeah, but I don't.
Other than that, a lot of wizard can actually just, especially high level wizard, can simply just recreate demi-planes in which they will have lush forest and they can just unwind in there and it's easier for them.
Again, if we don't have an easy way to get him out, this is not like something, this would be beneficial to us. We can just stick to the original plan. This was just something to add on to it if we could do it easily. If we can't, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can. It's definitely something that is possible. It's just how to achieve that. What you do will dictate the amount of involvement he'll have when he leaves, and so how resilient to mistake his absence will be. Because the more interesting it is, the more he's going to rely on the defenses of his arcane laboratory and sanctum to make sure that nothing happens. If it's very important for him somewhere else, well then of course he's not going to react if level 1 alarm rings inside of his laboratory. He knows that most likely someone's just going to get vaporized, killed, teleported into space or something like this, and then it's going to be done. So he's going to wait until the alarms become more and more dangerous, where eventually he's going to say, okay, I need to take care of that. But
I think we should maybe
something small, he's going to easily come back for something small as level 1 alarm. Okay, never mind. I'm going to go there. So
what, Andre?
I think maybe we tip him off about where the pillar came from, and maybe oversell how easy it would be to find the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like
Shouldn't
that
we
would
tell
be...
the guard about those too, in case they are still active? Before we start giving it out to the other.
Did we not?
No.
I thought...
No. We just got back.
Whole topic of conversation during a phone call.
We also never mentioned that they might have implications for building a weapon to pierce the heart of a god. We never mentioned any of that, which is all new information we learned.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that we just learned, but like
No.
the
But
garden
I
knows
thought we talked
that.
to them.
Well, the
The
garden knows
guard-
the town was destroyed. I don't think they necessarily, or if they knew that the pillars were there, we didn't give them any importance of why maybe they would still want those pillars.
This is what's missing from the entire conversation. You were planning to get the pillar so that the garden would have an intact pillar to start their study on. You were waiting for that to give them the whole, here you go, you can study that. That's fun, right?
Yeah. We could also just tell them about the other pillars.
They know
I didn't
that there was a
realize we were
quest there.
waiting.
They know that the quest was
yeah.
completed. They know that Sarn was injured. So they do have a little bit of information, depending on what Sarn shared. You don't know what he shared exactly, so you can't be sure. Connie would probably be the most obvious choice to figure out what was told, because she was completely conscious, and you shared a lot of information with her. So any information they would have would come from her.
Mm-hmm. I think. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we give up like the rest of them, that decreases the point of getting this one in the first place.
Yeah,
Possibly.
I don't know why we're
This
doing
one
it.
was supposedly still had
Well, this
some
one-
magic charge in it, right?
Yeah, we don't know if the other ones don't.
This one is also definitely not blown up.
Yes. No, this is the like best one by far. We don't know what the state the other one.
Yeah.
Jorg, you tried and find them, and you found bits and pieces of one of them, and twisted bits of metal from probably another one of them. So you know that two of them were destroyed, but you don't have confirmation for each one of them. One is intact, two were destroyed. What about all the others? So, how about we do not take actually 2/3 of a day to figure out the plan? So, what do you all want to do?
I think at this point we just friggin' do it while he's in a boring meeting and
Send it.
send it. Yeah, full send.
I will say I'll do the one thing. I'll fucking call Abiali's sister to see what she offers because I trust her enough. I don't think she would sell us out. That would be weird. From how she's helped us in the past, especially after the last meeting I had with her, where she was like quite helpful.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, the last meeting you had with her was like real world years
No,
ago.
it wasn't. No, it
Was it
wasn't.
not?
I met with her. No, I met with her recently to talk about the gem.
Okay, never mind. I'm going off of vibes from like the first time we met her.
No,
Like
no. Our
3 years
relationship.
ago.
No, our relationship has been better since then.
Okay.
He had a better exchange. He got a quest to help you beat the tower wizard.
Yeah.
She's making something for all of you, but she needs you all to find a huge geode for the whole thing to work.
Yeah.
All right. So then, yeah, every adventuring party is poly. Everybody knows that. To contact her, we have to try and go through Terry.
Okay.
because I don't have sending prepared.
All right. Well, Remy cast the.
Unless we want to wait until tomorrow and then.
Well,
No, it's fine.
Remy doesn't cast the. Doesn't need to cast the telepathic bond on all of you. Since Fisher know who she is, he could simply cast the bond between Fisher, him, and Terry, or he can include as many people as he can, and let's see what that does.
I was gonna say let's rope audience into that because
Okay.
then he can. Because last time we did it, it kind of turned it into a kind of conference call-y thing.
Well, yeah, but that's because you were talking to Sachet, who actually has a way of talking nonstop with this.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
But anyway, audience is the one that's going to be throwing out the pitch. So I think having him
All right,
on the call.
Yeah.
prepare your 25 words.
25.
Sending,
Okay.
it's
What's
25
the name
words.
of the city? What's the name of the city?
Tolteran.
Tolteran, right.
Sorry.
Tolteran.
All right, ritual casting takes 10 minutes. Everyone is linked inside of this mind moment. It's becoming more and more obvious that the reason why everything doesn't become weird when you include Terry in one of those moments is because Terry has such a incredible control over his own mind. He is holding back everything he can actually see and everything he actually knows.
He knows your bra size. Your
He
real
doesn't
one.
without-
So he reaches out to her. Takes a moment, but you feel the connection grab something. And
Okay.
you think you have your chance. Go.
Okay. Sorry, I have to do this like onomatopoeia so I count out my words. Could you set I don't need to use up. Could you set a meeting with Tolteran's main Tolteran's king's wizard? She'll know who we're talking about from that. That's Tolteran's king wizard for tomorrow. We are
15 words.
That was 13. I'm on 13. We are trying to heist him. Compensation ?
Question mark is 2 words. Is it compensation?
Compensation. Now, audience would say ? Like compensation.
Fair enough. Fair enough. If yeah.
Well. It would take a moment before you hear an answer. She's obviously thinking about something.
Did you? Was that the full 25?
There's
No,
still
I got like 7 left or 5 left. I don't know. 5, I think.
I think
5 or
5 or 4 word Apparently, I wasn't
Yeah,
counting.
for words.
Wanna
From
ask?
audience.
I could put world at stake.
From audience.
Sure.
Because
From
it's coming from Terry.
Oh,
And
yes. Fair
sending
enough.
tells you who is contacting you. So she would be
Yes.
getting all
Like,
this from.
What?
Why am I
the
being contacted by a
fuck?
random
He's-
worm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. From audience / Time Knights.
Heart emoji.
There you go. There's my 5 words.
And kisses.
XOXO. Period. Smiley face heart. No. Okay.
It takes a moment. All right. Well, there's definitely a different answer to this. So it takes a moment. Okay, it takes a moment, and she answers. Can be in Caravel in 1 hour. Can you meet?
Yes.
She won't hear that answer unless Terry sends another message.
Send another.
Okay. 25 words.
Yes, can be in Caravel in 1 hour.
Where specifically?
Where? Yeah, where? Question mark.
Covered in caramel.
Where? Question mark.
Actually, hold on. Idea for prankster antagonist wizard. All they do is pull pranks by turning entire cities into like marshmallows or making it rain caramel.
Yeah, that's a gnome. Gnomes are very vindictive, but their idea of getting vengeance is elaborate pranks, and the worse you've offended them, the worse is going to be the prank. So if you don't want to wake up with your 2 legs turned into caramel, don't mess with a gnomish wizard.
I think the way we should prank people is by just having Terry randomly send people sending messages.
And they're
Just
like,
whatever
why is
we
a
can think
worm sending a message?
I've received a message from a worm.
You
We see it.
You up? Question mark from a worm.
Well, no, but it'll be untranslated, so it's more like.
Feelings and emotion just flooding the poor guy. I've been contacted by a aberration worm. And we start
Although
a
at
new
that point,
religion.
though, you might as well just teach him dream and just make it like a full night's nightmare.
Find every guy
Yeah.
who still believes the army's gonna come back any day, like all the people who still think the army's gonna
Yeah.
come back, and have Terry just contact them, and they're
Well, you
No,
know,
but
you could
Terry,
always send
Terry's
Terry inside
not,
of your world of gems.
Yeah.
all right. How does she respond to the where? She still has plenty of words, so
Yeah, but she doesn't need a whole lot.
no.
My Vardo.
Now you gotta use all 25 or it doesn't work.
My Vardo, 5 minutes outside of main gate.
Okay. We'll be there.
You want Terry to send a third answer, a third message?
No,
we
still
still
have words in our second one.
No, that's not how it works.
Once you send it,
You send one, they send one back.
Okay, she'll know we'll be there. She's fine.
Yeah.
I already said yes. I don't need to
It's
say
basically a text message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Can you
already
just
got
use a
we'll be there.
reaction on it, like a thumbs up reaction.
I think a reaction would still be another message.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
All right, cool. Well, I guess I can go meet her there in an hour. See if we can get her to set up a meeting
All right. Well,
to get the wizard out.
You wait an hour, and then you do.
I don't wait an hour. I show up 10 minutes early, as is good etiquette for a meeting.
All of you, or just you, audience?
Anyone who wants to come.
Yeah, Fisher, if you were scared that she might learn the existence of Terry, that's kind of too late now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll go.
That worm's out of the tackle box.
All right, so audience, Fisher, Jorgen, Remy, do you want to go see the pretty
She
lady
will
who can
read
read
your
your mind?
Mm-hmm. Another lady that can read our minds.
Yeah,
Just
there are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Audience has a type. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, if she can't read his mind, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. I keep no secrets.
He doesn't know how to honestly communicate.
I keep no secrets from my girlfriend. Not by choice, but because I literally can't.
Yeah.
What do you mean the most important thing is communication? She always knows everything I'm thinking about.
Including that. And that. That too.
All right, so audience, Fisher, does Jorgen Remy join for the meeting?
Yeah, I'll join. I want to meet her.
All right.
Now that
Remy?
we've wormed her. That's what we should call it when we send messages via worm.
We're gonna worm you.
Yeah, we need to think of a better phrase than that.
Yeah,
I don't think that's
about
gonna.
that.
I don't think
I
that's
don't
what's gonna. I don't
No, I
think it's
don't
gonna
like that.
catch on.
Whatever.
Not good marketing there.
Like, we're just going to put a worm in their ear, an earworm, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Still
How do you
doesn't.
receive? I don't want to keep being off topic, but I what is it when you get a message from sending? Is it like just like words in your ears, or is it like a thought?
It's more like it appears right there in the middle of your mind. You know who's talking to you and you can hear them, but it comes from every direction at once.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Especially if you're not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
We be heist.
All right.
I'm glad we don't have that.
All right.
All right. Let's go meet this lady.
All right. I'll teleport there, which is why I'm also leaving early in case the teleport fails.
Well,
So I'll roll for that.
you do know that Caravel is one of the major city of this island.
That is true. Why am I teleporting? Why am I even risking it?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go through the teleporter.
Just like to
I'm gonna-
add a little bit of excitement.
He likes
No, I
to
don't
get
need. I don't
things.
need. I don't need the excitement. Let's see what I would have rolled. I'm glad I didn't add excitement. I would have not hit the mark.
There was this little voice inside of you, audience, that says, "Don't stop
Good
it.
choice. Good choice. Good choice. Good choice.
Get some help.
I would.
That was a good choice, man.
That'd be a good choice,
good choice.
man. Trolls from Warcraft 3. The Halloween special. It's a troll that's standing to the bar. There's the orc that arrives, and he says, "My blade thirsts. My blade thirsts for blood." So the troll answers, "What would you be having?" And the orc answers, "Blood." That's a good choice, man. So
We appear there,
you appear there 10 minutes early.
and then I'll go look for, Hervardo.
It's pretty late. You still haven't gone to bed, so it's the night. It's sort of not necessarily obvious figuring out, but Terry's a pretty good lantern, so you just take him out and you can actually see magical things. And he points toward a magical point, maybe 10 minutes away from where you are. Make your way there.
We walk there.
And you see that little familiar Vardo that you saw the first time that you met her. Completely isolated. Doesn't seem to be anyone nearby. There is a light inside. Very faint. It looks like faint lantern light, but it's bigger in the inside, so how much can you rely on that light? You notice that right at the entrance to the Vardo, there's her little rock elemental that's just waiting there, and he's looking around.
I'll walk up. I'll be like, I'll go to the rock elemental. I'll be like, can you tell? My mind immediately goes blank on her name. I'm so bad with names that I definitely can't remember fantasy names. I'm bad with the real people.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right.
I can't ever remember a name, even the name. Except, I have it. I know I have this one on my nose.
Probably, I've said it several times.
Yeah.
But I know it's a bit unusual.
No.
All right.
No. We're really good here. Well, my notes aren't very good. They're not super organized.
All right. I know you've written it down somewhere. So.
I have.
So
many times.
Her name is Antasia.
Antasia. Yes. Okay. I'll be like, hey, can you tell Antasia that her 11 p.m. therapy appointment is here?
11 p.m.
I don't know what time it is.
He looks at you for a brief moment. He looks at the entire party, and you see him roll his eyes and goes inside of the Vardo.
I think she would get a kick from the therapy appointment thing.
Well, if it's Terry. Now that would be interesting for a mage.
You might even say a therapy appointment.
All right.
No.
So,
No, I wouldn't.
So, you wait a moment. The door opens by itself, and you hear Antasia's voice inside. Come on in. Don't mind the mess. I'm a little bit busy right now.
That's okay. I'll pop in.
You enter in, and it doesn't look like the same thing it did last time. You suddenly find yourself in what looks like, for us today, an observatory for stellar phenomenon. As large as that, with that huge telescope peering outside, which you don't remember seeing from the outside of the Vardo.
Very cool.
All right, guys, I'm staying here. It was nice knowing you.
She speaks a little louder because she's a bit far away. Come on in. I've asked for some tea to be prepared. No, it's not prepared. Okay, there's gonna be some tea in a moment. There's a table over there. You see a table maybe 20 feet away from where you are.
I will sit down at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Fisher and Remy also?
I should suppose.
Well, you never know. Maybe you're going to want to explore. I don't know. As you're making your way to the table, you notice that there's a whole lot of information about stellar phenomenon, comets, the two moons of your world. There are even things about the sun of your world. Very elaborate chart. You recognize a mixture of mathematic and arcane in a way that you're not used to. And maybe Fisher, because you're the most arcane oriented one, you do recognize that she's trying to predict something, but you don't know what exactly.
Audience rolled a 4 on understanding all of it, so he moves.
The understanding all of it roll.
It's all magic for you.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The only thing that probably pops up into your mind is, well, when Remy takes out his spyglass, you can see something from, 300 or 400 feet away, as if it was right next to you. And then you look at her at her telescopes. What are you looking at with that? Can you see people, naked people on the moon?
Is there another world to spread my religion to? Oh wait, no, I'm kidding.
Old habits.
You already did that.
Turn out less
You already did that.
Yeah. Can I start over on a new
Wait,
planet?
I just had an idea. Let's create a religion where we follow like some Drake or something to oppose the one that Sam started. That is now corrupt.
I'm already kind of doing that with the Silver Dragon, where I'm just sticking to my religion that I always wanted, but I'm finding a new figure for it.
And Tobiashi did that even earlier.
So my idea is not very original.
Well,
it's okay. You can start one too.
It means it was a good idea because multiple people had it before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always got to be careful about new ideas. It's like either it's a new idea that's great, or a new idea that got thrown, or an old idea that got thrown out for a reason.
Yeah.
So you all go at the table. You look around and are completely mystified by what you're seeing. Fisher and Remy, you sort of understand the arcane elements, and like I said, Fisher, you sort of realize she's trying to predict something. Jorg, you recognize the natural element of it, the movement of the stars, some of the comets. You know that some humans, mostly humans, but elves also, seem to be very fascinated by this and are trying to figure out a lot of things on its own. You sort of have a problem with the artificial nature of the tools that they're using. They could be using scrying magic instead. It's much more environment friendly, but they're trying to understand nature better with this. So you can't fault the intention, but you can fault the delivery of it.
I would have Terry out because might as well at this point.
You see a bunch of
also,
stars.
I kind of want to see his take on all this stuff.
Well, as you're all walking toward the table, you see a bunch of stars in front of you, and you translate them as nice box.
Yeah, fair.
Can I have one like this?
Maybe for your birthday. And any good father would know his birthday.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, you were the one that gave birth to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that was a year ago.
Well, you missed his
Yeah.
first
Baby
birthday.
boy, a year old.
Oh, right, because we skipped it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed it because you
Dang.
skipped it. It's at the beginning of summer, essentially.
Them's the breaks. Anyway, can I figure out anything about like what she is trying to
Make an Arcana roll. And a Nature
figure
roll.
out? Arcana and nature?
Yeah. Because there are two components in this.
Right. The Arcana is a 28.
Interesting number.
Yeah. With Terranad 24. Without. And nature is a 13.
All right. You had the impression that she's following patterns in the skies. Because you succeeded with your Arcana roll, you get the impression that she's looking for something that's she thinks will breach the sky, and it's gonna be fairly soon. She's trying to predict when it's going to happen, but because you miserably failed the nature roll, you don't know if she's looking for a natural event or something else.
When you say breach the sky,
she's waiting for something to fall from the sky.
Okay. Interesting.
That sounds potentially cataclysmic.
Well,
Not necessarily.
If he succeeded his nature roll,
Could be
he'd know.
something small.
I got a 13. That's not terrible.
I should use guidance on you.
You should.
Well, he'd realize
Not
that a
great,
rogue clone
but,
is
you
looking to
know.
cast meteor on the Earth, and
So yeah, that's what you think she's doing. She's trying to figure out when something is going to fall from the sky. But because there's so many arcane elements, she's trying to predict it. But it's probably not something that you can just follow by finding it in the sky.
Mhm.
So you all sit down at the table. Terry is very fascinated by all the magical elements.
Is Terry out?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
took him out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, yeah, she already knows about him. Why not?
Yeah. He's the one that messaged her, so.
And
Also, Terry's at the point where he's
He's a big boy.
he.
not in the literal sense, but in the arcane prowess sense.
Yeah.
And he's got a pretty good control of his mind.
Yeah.
There's probably one comment that he says that sort of has a brief moment of you going, and then Amiali starts speaking. And not Amiali, Antasia starts speaking. But Terry passes the comment to you, Fisher, and because you've also learned his, in part, his language, Remy, you also know enough to interpret this. He He says, "Time's weird here."
I hope weird in a slower than or faster. Not that I hear that, but
And as that comment sinks in inside of you, I want to know what Jorg is thinking right now.
Please don't read my mind.
I want to know what
He
audience
knows
is
she
thinking.
can read her mind.
I want to know what audience is thinking right now.
what he's gonna offer. Try and get her to do this.
What is on Remy's mind right now?
Now Remy's just wondering if he misunderstood and he actually keeps track of time based on the stars.
And what is on Fisher's mind right now?
Slower or faster? Or some weird sideways thing I don't understand.
Well, probably that she looks at all of you, and she has a brief moment where she looks at you, Fisher, and has that moment of, and then she looks at all of you. She's a bit. It looks like she's been working all day long. You know, her hair isn't all neatly kept. She did her best to make sure that she was at her best as you were arriving, but she clearly didn't expect all of you to call at this time. She was very involved in something else she was doing. So, and she just dusts herself off a little bit, gets her wizardly robe all well placed. So, you wanted to talk to me about a heist, getting someone out of a mage tower, and I guess making something very distracting. She turns to her little mental servant. I mean, I said that I wanted tea while they were there. You see the servants go, and he goes away. He comes back maybe 2 minutes later with a tray of tea.
Help these days, am I right? No, I'm kidding. I don't say that.
Well, you think it. It's enough for her.
No, I thought it. I don't think audience would think it.
Okay.
Audience doesn't really have servants, so he wouldn't think that.
Okay.
Yes. To cut to the chase, basically, we're planning a heist on the court wizard of the city, and we're going, and we basically, it would be easier for us to complete the heist if he was not there. Or was far enough away that if we set off a smaller alarm, he wouldn't immediately come rushing to it. Since, as you probably can know from our party, we're not necessarily the, masters of breaking into wizard towers.
Well, no.
Mistakes might happen.
Yes, definitely. And she looks at Fisher. Jorg, I don't know if Jorg has ever seen Antasia before.
I don't think so.
Amiali's half-sister. So there's a very strong resemblance. She also has silver hair, although her hair is completely undone and it falls lower than 3/4 of her back. She's completely dressed in wizardly robes. She's the diviner, so there's probably something somewhere on her that betrays that, an eye or something like this, made out of metal, sort of a medallion, something, probably a focus or something like this. You see the family resemblance with Amiali, but she's a bit younger than her. So Amiali looks like she is in her early 30s. She looks like she's in mid-20s. So, you want to have something of a good enough importance that would get a mage out of his tower and not mind too much if an alarm rings. That's a tall order.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely a few things happening around the world that I could possibly come up with an excuse that would allow that may interest him.
Okay.
I don't know how much. I mean, all of you have been very busy. I've seen, well, mostly because of my sister, have been previewed to some of the work that you all do. I mean, I know that you've all been pretty busy trying to solve problems in this island chain and the neighboring ones. I've heard a lot about a blade master doing a lot of creature hunting. Creatures which shouldn't be on your plane of existence.
Yeah, he would probably do that.
Well, I might be able to draw him away. But you're gonna have to help me with one thing. If what I think works, I think I might be able to get him interested in a extraplanar creature. But that
Okay.
team of yours, the one on which Amiali is, they sort of interfere with all of that quite consistently. You'd have to be able to convince them to skip one.
Skip one?
Yeah.
I can do that. Maybe. No, I won't say maybe. I think maybe. She hears the maybe from my mind. I very confidently say I can get them to do that.
I can do it. And cheers, I think.
Maybe. No, audience, have confidence. Come on, audience. Smile. Smile. Smile and wave. Smile and wave.
Don't let her know. Don't let her know. When she talks about all of this, what is Jorg thinking?
Jorg is thinking about that big telescope and like what's coming from the sky. He's distracted.
Okay. What is Remy thinking?
I guess trying to insert, like, I like talking about creatures that shouldn't be on this plane. It's like now he's just going through a catalog of things he's read about but never actually seen.
And what's Fisher thinking?
Fisher's probably thinking, I don't want to pull them away. They're always doing super important shit.
She looks at Terry for a moment. She looks at you, Fisher. You know, you really could try and translate what's happening. Because he feels really left out right now.
Wow, Fisher.
I would have been if we got telepathic bond up, there's no reason I wouldn't have been feeding him the vague details.
He has a very curious mind, and I do mean that in more than one way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is very grounded. His mind is like a fortress. With a little bit of training, he could probably even learn to resist innate psychic abilities.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I could find someone to train him if you want.
It's like by the time that they're done with him, it's like his mind will be unbreakable.
No, I don't want that. Then he'd have a target on his back. I will forward that question to Terry. He to train under somebody.
Send our little boy off.
Well, he looks at
They
you.
grow up so fast.
He looks at you for a brief moment. What's training?
Someone who is more familiar with your abilities can help you to understand and improve them.
How would they know about my abilities? I've never seen another one like me here.
You'd be some of your abilities. Specifically your arcane, magical mind powers.
You know magic.
Yeah.
He says, I'd have to leave my box.
The box could go with you. It also wouldn't be. It could be done in a way where you take the box with you, but you'd be leaving me. Or we could do it in a way of a shorter term thing where possibly somebody comes. If you don't want to leave, someone could come.
Why would I need to
us.
leave you?
Well, if you were...
You move around a lot. Why can't you come?
Because of all the saving the world stuff we're trying to do. But that's why the other option would be they could come to us, potentially.
I'd rather like that. That way I can still live with you and watch over all of you.
Alright. I will turn to... It's not Anastasia, it's...
Antasia.
Fantasia. Thank you. And just kind of in my mind go, did you catch that?
Yes. Well,
Then if whoever it is would be willing to come to us, then
I guess there's
we wouldn't
always
have.
a way of doing things, but I don't know. I've heard a lot about this organization that you work under. I feel like there would be some problems if I brought in someone else. And to be quite honest, I think that if I tried to connect him to someone else, they might not like it. Because, and no pun intended, his box exists on a demiplane, which means it kind of would be possible to create a wormhole to another plane. So he would be able to move from your box to another box.
Wormhole.
But I don't know.
And that is probably exactly what Jorg is actually thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I laughed.
Just a little snicker.
I don't know how your organization would take this. That there would be something connecting them from wherever they are to this realm here. But it is possible. It would allow him to stay near you and come to school.
Yeah.
But you'd have to talk about this with your friends. I have a feeling that they have more resources than me.
You would be correct.
Alright, well then, all of this is very interesting, but if you can figure a way to at the very least delay your friends from taking on one of those extraplanar creature slaying.
Which one specifically would you be interested in him in? Because it would have to be tomorrow. So which one? Do you have one in mind?
Well, I do not have the same worldwide scanning ability as your. But.
So what I'm saying, if I'm going to convince them, is there one I should specifically be telling them to avoid turning the mage in?
Okay. I'm looking for a spell. The one where you get to ask questions to a god. It's a ritual, I think.
So just divination?
Oh yeah, divination allows you to be able to ask a question to something that will answer.
There you go. Oh, okay.
But yes, it is a ritual.
No, I just thought that it would be written differently because, it's divination from the divination sphere. Oh, okay.
I mean, in the interest of flavor and flexibility, it's better to say entity than just a god.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She's going to do the ritual for a divination. Try and figure out if there's something that could possibly be interesting. So she retreats to a corner of this huge observatory and start concentrating. And I think we should go on a break because I think technically we should be back from the break at this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds.
So, all right, not this one here. All right, a little bit of music. What do you go with? Rain, just relaxing rain. It's always nice. Yeah. All right. See you in 15 minutes as soon as we come back from the break. Bye. Hello, we're back. Ain't it fun? Alright. Ooh, we don't need the rain.
So she was dividing if she could find a creature.
Yeah. And I just...
And now we're back from that.
Yeah. Exactly. Took her 10 minutes for the... 11 minutes for the ritual. And then she asked questions to whichever entity she could reach out to, and there was an answer. I rolled 3 dice to give me 1 dice. The first dice is the magnitude of the event. The second dice is how far in time is it? And the third dice, how far physically is it?
And you got 3 nat 20s.
No. But I did get a natural 20 in one of them.
Which one?
Just let him give out the information.
Okay.
I'm distracted by your crunching. I like toasts. You know, I'm a bread maker. I like a
Way
variety
too crunchy
of
to be
different
toast.
bread.
That sounds like a rice cracker.
Nope, it's toast.
Really?
See? I know. I can
Dang.
recognize it. It's not the same thing.
You're just not getting crunchy enough toast, Andre.
I guess not.
Mm-hmm. Is it
with
sourdough?
with a rice cracker, it's more of a snap in the way that it ends. With a toast, there's more of a soft landing into it.
Welcome to the crunching ASMR, where we take various kitchen breads, crackers, and other carbs, and just chew it in front of the microphone.
Oddly enough, that could be a chapter for my channel that would sort of be popular. Crunching ASMR. We crunch all types of crunchy food. From crackers to toast to candy. I don't know.
Sharp rocks. Oh, that's...
It's a bit hard to digest, but
Maybe as a dragon
sugar crystals, that's doable.
All right.
So she reaches out and you see her concentrate, and 2 of those elements are pretty good, exactly what you wanted. One roll is a bit weak, so it's not exactly perfect for what you want. But it might be. The first roll, the magnitude of the event. She concentrates on this, and an answer comes down. There's something pretty big that's trying to traverse right now. It's using a crack. And it's trying to push through. It's some sort of powerful elemental creature. That roll was a 19. So it's as nearly as big as D&D can make it without me having to push it further than that. So we're talking about elder elementals and things like this. Something is trying to breach through. Second roll is distance and time. She keeps concentrating and she looks at what is coming into focus in her mind, and she opens her eyes like this and looks at you, audience. Stop crunching the biscuits. No. Sorry. It was just too easy. There's tea on the table. So her eyes go wide and she says, I think you should try and reach out to your friend right now, because it's happening now. That's the natural 20. The event is happening now.
Oh.
Shit. No rest.
But our
for the
stuff
wicked.
isn't. But our stuff isn't ready.
Well, that's the whole thing. You're gonna have to convince the 5 strongest characters of your friends to delay their intervention for the amount of time you feel you need to have.
A full day? That's gonna be tough.
And she keeps concentrating. It's a good distance from here. It's another island chain entirely.
Oh, that's good.
So at least it's not something that's going to be tearing apart your own island chain. It's going to be someone else's island chain who's going to be suffering massive casualties.
All right, audience is going to step outside and call Sarah, because she did tell him to call our friends immediately. One moment.
I want to ask her, how often do things like this just come through?
She takes a moment to recenter herself. It's not normal. Something is happening right now. Something is trying to tear its way inside of our world. And
we felt like that one time.
I can guarantee you that anything you've seen is by far not what this is.
What island chain you hear through the door as audience shouts?
She gives you a name, because I don't want to have to come up with an entire island chain name that you're never going to go to.
What do you mean? We're going there to fight it right now.
Yeah,
we're going there to fight
we were
it.
planning.
That was complete switch of plans. We're just going to go fight an elder island. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll fight it, and then the A-team can do this little heist.
Yeah, we'll switch jobs for a round. See how it goes. It's like the living in each other's shoes.
So yeah, as audience asks her this and she gives the answer, there's one last moment when she looks at you, Jorg. I guarantee you something's happening right now. I don't know exactly what it is, but it feels like the barriers that's protecting all of this, the types of barriers that gods put up so that they can't interfere with us. It feels like it's breaking down, and I can't figure out from where it's happening.
Yeah, I don't think this artifact is worth delaying intervention.
No, this is not what's breaking through. This is just someone riding along, someone trying to take advantage of this crack and trying to pour itself inside of a world it doesn't belong to.
Big things making the crack. This is something slipping through the crack.
Yeah.
Try and think of it as if you were standing on top of a frozen lake and you were punching the surface of the lake. With every punch that you make, cracks keeps appearing. But now, every now and then, a little bit of water will just seep through. That little bit of water, that is what's happening right now. For you, Jorg, because of your druid, you sort of have a good knowledge of elemental creature. There's sort of that element in your mind going, wait, an elder elemental creature? That's water seeping from the crack?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
What's trying to get through? This is about as bad can get in your world. And she just said that what's coming through is worse.
Yeah, it's just the small little bit that's seeping through the cracks the thing's creating.
Yeah. The difference between powerful creatures and actual like gods.
Yeah. Remember when we used the orb to teleport and there was something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know there's a giant thing with tentacles beating on the outside of our world.
Yeah, we've known that for a while.
Yeah. So is this what the guards have been dealing with?
Yeah.
It's just
we
the
keep
water
trying
seeping
to pretend it doesn't super exist so we can actually focus on doing stuff, but
Yeah, but it doesn't.
We've known about it.
Yeah, we know about it. We just can't do anything about it, so we try to ignore it.
So, going back to you, audience, on the outside, just trying to reach...
I'm going to call Sarah, and then I'm going to ask if she can contact any one of the A team that is available at the moment, if they're together. I don't know which one would be available, so I get whoever I get. Hopefully one that's going to be more reasonable. Hopefully not core would be the answer.
Well, let's see. Okay. Roll the d20. I rolled the d20 and separated it into 5. That's what a good coincidence. 20 is easily dividable by 5. 1 being the one that you don't want to have, and natural 20 being the one that you actually want to have. So, tell me, in your mind, which ones would be the 2 that you would like the most to answer, audience?
Temptress would probably be up there because I've had a pretty long-term relationship with her, and also I think she'd be one of the more peaceful who's like more reasonable to convince. What are the 5? It's Temptress, not Core. Core's obviously one. Ami Ali, and then the other 2 are Sarn and. Am I missing? It's one that I'm missing in my head. It's
one of the Dragonborn. It's the summoner Dragonborn, Darkheim.
Yeah.
The one that can actually summon a Faxi. Probably the daughter of Ethrazil.
Yeah. Honestly, like, Darkheim and Ami Ali are basically equal for me, with Sarn being number 4 and Karn being number 5. So, Ami Ali and... Because I think both of them at this point are decently reasonable.
You're that scared of Sarn?
No, I just think, Sarn would be fine. Really, any one of them are fine except Core. I think I could literally talk to any of them besides Core. Just don't get Core.
All right. Well, you didn't. I didn't roll the natural 1. So
yeah.
Actually,
Core would be...
I rolled an 18. So it's a feminine voice that answers. It takes a moment while your mind is there. Please don't be Core. Please don't be Core. Please don't be Core. And then you answer a voice that sounds feminine. Oh goodness, that's good. That's good. It takes a moment.
Actually, would have been hilarious if Core cut in first and then like Temptress like, no.
You are not the face of this group. You do not talk to people. Okay. Hit things, Core.
Who let you have an orb?
Yeah.
You hear the voice of Temptress going, "Yes, audience, that's an
Yeah.
surprise. Kind of a
Yes.
bit of a bad moment. There are some
Yeah.
very interesting quests appearing on the board right now."
Yeah, so to cut to matters, I'll basically be like, I know that a large something basically appeared in this island chain. And we need you guys to delay dealing with it for 1 day to make our plan a success. And the potential payout of our plan is recovering a piece of something that could be turned into a weapon to pierce the heart of a god. So there is a larger stake at hand besides us just doing some fun little side quest that doesn't matter to you guys.
You just say all that in a single shot, and you hear something that you didn't want in the background. You hear a steak, nice. You see Temptress turning. "I'm on the orb, please. We talked about this." You want Core, who seems very excited about attacking a greater elemental, to delay for a day.
I do.
You hear Core in the background says, "What's in it for me?
I
want a piece of that steak. I know you're not talking about a steak I can eat, but I think I can add something about that thing that you just said, that you can pierce the heart of a god."
Yeah, if you don't fight this elder mental, there's a better chance you'll get to fight a god, I guess. I don't know what else I can offer you, Core, right now.
Right, so... Alright. I can get behind the idea of... You hear Temptress go, "Get your own orb. He's talking to me." But he's making a deal with me. So, and the orb cuts. He's talking.
I think it's stuck, Tiffany. I think
your orb goes dark completely, and then your orb rings, audience.
All right, I'll pick it back up.
So as I was saying,
in the second in between when it goes dark, because I don't want my voice to be heard when we're talking to Core, because that's not going to help anything. But in the second before he picks it up, offer that he gets to use the steak.
Okay.
But what if we want to use it? Okay.
And then the orb rings, and it's his face that appears.
I'll pick it up.
So as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted.
Yes, Core.
I think if that thing can be used as a weapon, it means that Tarash can absorb it.
That is a possibility.
So
I don't know enough.
I want it at the end. I want Tarash to absorb a god killer. That's my deal.
I'm fine making that deal with you. I don't know if I have the authority to make that deal with you. You may have to go through some higher channels, because we're probably going to turn this over to the garden. But I am perfectly happy to make that deal with you, from my point of view.
All right. Just tell me who I gotta kill to get it, if there's a problem.
Illithane. Okay. You might have to go through him. I don't know. I don't know how this is gonna go.
Interesting challenge. Never thought about challenging him before.
Yeah, he's one of the few who you might actually struggle with.
I haven't felt shivers before a fight in a long time. That could be interesting.
Alright, anyway, thank you for agreeing. I'm gonna hang up before, like, Core gets more into detail about how, like, he's gonna 1v1 Illithane.
Yeah.
Just push that aside.
As you're about to end the call, you just hear Temptress going, "Did you just agree to let thousands of people die just so that you can upgrade your weapon as God Killer?" And the conversation ends there for you, audience.
Alright, they're gonna work
Yeah,
out the
this
details.
it feels a little wrong.
No, well, the wizard's gonna help deal with it. So, not as, it's not like no one's gonna be dealing.
Fisher,
Anyway.
As long as,
You gotta think about the greater good.
yeah.
The greater good of us retrieving a potential god killer that would save the whole world versus just a few hundred people dying. 1,000. 10,000.
Rainy raises the
the
talon,
ends
opens
justify
beak.
the means.
Who knows?
Who knows?
I never studied philosophy.
Alright.
Most of them are dead.
So, Fisher...
Anyway, Antasia, I got the delay.
Fisher, Terranad points something out to you as... hold on, I don't want to... hold on. Okay, here it is. Points something out to you as you're all going, "Okay, good, we've got your delay." And then Fisher, you hear Terranad tells you this and you're inside of your mind.
Yeah.
And that's all you hear from Fisher.
I'm sure they'll figure it out amongst themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's why we should do the heist
quickly
before they go. Or Cord goes.
Yeah.
That's why they're delaying in the first place.
All right, so audience,
We don't even know if the heist
when
is gonna
exactly do
any
you
good.
need this to happen?
I got them to delay a day, so to happen tomorrow. You
Yes,
get him
but
out tomorrow.
you specifically.
Oh.
When do you need him to be out? When are you going to be there?
Exactly. Well, it's probably been a bit. So, like, I'd say like 18 hours from now, 20 hours from now.
Something like that, yeah. Right, okay, so I gotta prepare for this. I'm gonna need to be better equipped.
Also, I apologize if this is going to cause more friction between you and your sister. But, for the greater good, right?
Yes.
Greater good.
Yes, people keep talking about this.
Mhm.
Greater good, the greater good, the greater good. I feel like the worst tragedies in histories have all been done for the greater good. All right.
Yeah.
Well then, I have to prepare, get a few interesting magical object out of storage, and I gotta convince a mage that there might be something interesting in trying to capture an elder elemental. That's fun. And apparently we're going to have to hold it back for 4 hours. Even more fun.
Well, they might be there. I just told them to delay. Who knows if they'll step in or not. I can't promise anything.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
We'll see.
Well, it's not that you're not good company, but I apparently have a whole lot of preparation to make, so if you wouldn't mind,
It's okay. We gotta go sleep for our preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Exhaustion can be a pain in the ass.
Tell me about it. I wouldn't have looked at the sky for 2 days straight if I knew that I was going to attack an elder elemental. Alright, we're gonna do our best. So?
Alright. Stay safe.
I'll
Don't die.
do my best.
If anyone dies because of us.
You have
audience would have a lot more Tossie died because of him.
when you say don't die, she has a brief moment of always the goal. That you see the little earth elemental looking at you, audience specifically. You recognize that stare. You've seen it in the brother of a lot of women that you've tried to conquer and miserably fail, apparently, because up until recently you couldn't convince anyone to follow you. But you recognize that stare in the little earth elemental that sort of gives you that vibe of, if she dies, I'm gonna make sure you live to regret it.
I'm gonna look at the earth elemental and think to myself, you're not the one I'm worried about.
Suddenly grows 15 times its size.
Yeah, nah, even then, I'm still like, listen, man, you're like way down on my things I'd be worried about at that point.
It's like his connection to her is actually a seal on his true power. Very classic anime moment. Break the seal.
I need to stop. I thought I talked to myself about this, about stop being worried about like people dying because of me and then me getting beat up by really powerful things because of this. But I guess I keep walking into it no matter what I do.
I mean, look on the bright side. Jork could always reincarnate you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when are you gonna come back as a halfling?
Alright. We're gonna go to the teleporter, go back. An audience is passing out because it's very late and we need to go to bed.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Drug 2.
You all go back, preparation made, ready to go to sleep. Well, yeah, no, okay, yeah. I probably don't have to describe any dreams at all. You probably all have your own specific dreams that haunts you throughout this night. You, audience, thinking about every single entity who's ever told you, if she dies, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your hide.
That also
that specific phrase.
That also paired with the guilt of probably all the innocents that are dying out because of this.
Yeah.
You don't know why, but you think about it and you see this huge elemental creature just falling to the ground in a snake-like shape and just raising villages and towns with its tail. And, oh yeah, I allowed that. Cool. Yeah.
This fucking spire better be worth it.
Don't Feed the Plant starts playing.
Jorg, probably your mind just goes, you were stuck in a nature shard for a while. The shard fed on your fears and gave you strange beasts, and You had to control your feelings a little bit more. You had to learn how to suppress sometime, but also express them in a way that is safe. But right now, your mind's saying, oh shit. If huge, powerful creatures are just breaching out from the few cracks that whatever is trying to get in has managed to do, then what's behind it? And just how much power is needed to breach that? And from all you know, that this barrier is being maintained by the 4 greatest gods of your world. The 4 original god, including one that is unavoidable for you to at least worship in some way, Rosic, the first god to answer all druids after the gods stop answering everyone. There are no greater representation of druidic power, as far as you know, than Rosic. Next to him, there's Algathar, the all-seeing god of light and virtue and good. And there are 2 other gods, which you know a little bit less, but if the 4 of them can't manage to keep the integrity of that bubble around your world, what is trying to get through? You always thought that they were greater gods. But what if you got the scale all wrong? They're greater gods to you. But maybe in the entire universe, they're not greater gods. Fisher, I'm pretty sure that your dreams, although they probably slightly slide toward the sacrifices that you've just accepted to do by letting people die so that you can retrieve a piece of equipment inside of a mage laboratory, which on its own is kind of interesting because you'd be able to go inside of something that you have started to fantasize about having yourself. An actual arcane laboratory where you could change the world, make it a better place, make it more safe for your child. And then every time you think about your child, your mind goes away from saving the world to he might be going to school.
Oh boy. All grown up.
What if the others don't like him? Oh yeah, he can probably crush their mind. Sorry.
Disintegrate.
He's just a baby. He can use disintegrate, but he's just a baby.
He's just a baby with a gun.
Cannon, you mean? Remy, your dreams always look like flipping through the page of a scrapbook. So you've got images from the entire day just springing in your mind. You've seen depiction of greater elementals. You know where you're going. You've seen representation of mages' sanctum, the things that they create in dimensional space, pocket universe that just defies the laws of physics and, well, the laws of creation in many ways. You know, you're about to go inside of there. It's both cool and completely hysterically frightening at the same time. You know, you're gonna get a whole slew of new reference in your mind for magic, for what is possible and what's not possible. And then you think about it, and oh yeah, you're gonna meet things that aren't possible, and monsters that don't make sense, and yeah, basically the kind of dreams that a Kenku has all the time.
Like, and then there's just also the fact that's like, well, or looks like we're breaking into another wizard tower. Let's hope this works out better than the last time.
Also, there's something that you can't help but think about as you're thinking about this. Sort of a weird karma, you could call it. The first thing you did to start on that road was to break out of a tower. And then you just been breaking into towers ever since you met those people.
It's like, well, you know, the best person to ask to break into a tower is one who's broken out. Let's
sense.
ignore the fact that it was a complete fluke for like a level 1 character.
And most likely have signed the death warrant for anyone else who helped you try to do this, and you realize that, oh yeah, there were other Kenkus in there. God damn it. Now they're dead because of me, probably.
Either that or they wish that
No,
they're
he
dead.
doesn't remember that. He blocked that part out.
Well, unfortunately, it was brought back to him. That's why he keeps thinking about it now. So yeah, probably whenever Remy thinks about all of this, you sort of realize the ridiculous amount of, in meta term, natural 20s you must have rolled in a row to find your way out of there. It's completely insane. Huh. And this is where it becomes less interesting for you. It's completely insane.
And this is why Fisher gets the lucky coin, because apparently Raimi has too much of it, and it would just throw the universe out of balance.
That's possible, but there's an alternative to that. What if you were let out?
Bum, bum, bum. Just like just frozen in place. They're just really good at red light, green light.
So yeah, your night is probably filled with those thoughts and dreams. The only question that I can ask is, Fisher, do you think you would be able to go to sleep with all of that rolling about in your mind?
No.
Okay. I have to ask because you told me that the garden is probably the place where you feel the safest, so
yeah,
I have to ask.
Yeah, but not tonight. Not tonight.
Okay.
I think if anything, you know what? I think actually, if anything, he would try just to not start going over everything in your... Because, like, if you really think about it, having to sentry rest instead of sleeping could be terrible. So you have to just sit there and not do anything but think for 6 hours.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better to like try to sift through your junk drawer than try to figure out how you're going to pay a $6,000 hospital bill.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if anything, he would be like, "There's no way. You know what? I'm going to try anyway because otherwise, I'm going to psych myself out overthinking tonight." So I'm gonna roll, but I think I'm gonna give myself disadvantage.
Okay. Because your mind is not exactly into it.
Yeah. That's a 14.
All right, so you gave yourself disadvantage, but I have to at least underline one thing. You're actually trying to fall asleep. Would it be correct to use the coin?
I think so. Yeah. Well, the coin was the nat one, so we're gonna stick with the 14.
Okay. Well, there's good and bad with what you just did.
Makes sense.
Because you try to fall asleep so that you don't have to think about everything and the consequences of everything that you just try and did. And, Terranad just adding just that little voice on top of everything, just underlining how audience once again decided to manipulate someone into doing something bad so that it ends well for him.
That's unfair. I was thinking about the whole world.
Yeah.
Were you?
I don't think Fisher would have that thought because he's on the exact same page as audience here. So
So
Like, you could see it if it was like a guaranteed thing, but
I'm just saying what
I mean, we
Terran.
get no benefit from this. We're not getting anything from getting this spire personally, so it's definitely not for me.
yeah. Like what are we gonna do with it? We wouldn't
I
be
don't
able to
know.
do
But
anything
like, we
with
don't
it.
know. We don't even know if it's going to be useful.
We do. The wizard told us it could be used to build a.
Well, yeah, you've already promised it to three different people. You promised it to your friend who's going to teleport you out, and he wants to study it. You promised it to the garden who's going to study it, and then you promised it to Kor who wants to absorb it inside of his weapon.
Yeah, those are all
Absorb-
different stages.
Yeah, those are all different stages.
Step one.
So
Also, I think we very specifically didn't promise it to the guy who's gonna get us out. We promised.
that was part of the deal. He wants to study it. Because you told him where the broken ones were. But if he has the time to watch the unbroken one, he might be able to reform some of the broken
I think we
ones.
said we could share some of his knowledge with him. I don't think we said, like, we're not just gonna give hit to him, but he can like participate in looking at it.
Yeah.
So you try and go to sleep with all of this going to your mind, and Terranad adding one thing after the other, reminding you that you probably sacrificed thousands of people. And, knowing the world, you just, come on, thousands, 100, 200 at most. And then you realize what you're arguing to him about sacrificing 100, 200 people. Yeah, okay, never mind. So you manage to fall asleep. Thankfully. But it's an empty sleep. Because nothing comes to you while you're sleeping.
That's probably better. Probably.
Other than some random images when you're just right on the cusp of falling asleep. Where your imagination sort of becomes really big in your mind and you see things happening in your mind, but then you fall asleep and you wake up and you sort of had, I was just seeing those huge creatures in my mind, and 4 hours later. It sort of gives you a better understanding of people in general. The fact why it's disorienting for some people to just fall asleep and then suddenly wake up. That period of time that's just taken out.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure if it's a blessing or not that you didn't see anything, because sometimes when you dream you see useful information. Although recently the information simply added bad things for you to think about. But, something is guiding you towards something. There's that little, very little thought in the background just saying, well, would have been nice. Would have been nice if that entity had a little bit of advice on what's happening right now, but at the same time, you're sort of grateful to not have had to think about all of that for 6 hours straight.
Mm-hmm.
You're still stuck with the 2 hours that are left before everyone gets up, but it's better than 6.
Yeah. I can do stuff with these 2 hours.
Well, yeah.
Actually, that reminds me, you have knock, right?
Do I? I don't know if I do. I don't.
You do have 2/3 of a day if you want to try and learn this.
I'm just saying we're going into an arcane laboratory, and not everything is going to be able to be picked with just a standard.
Yeah.
We might literally have to bypass some locks by knocking on them.
Yeah. Yeah. That thought just pops into my head, and I rush over to the library.
And it's definitely cheaper than dispel magic. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, with this, you make your way to the library. You try and study for that new spell. If any of you wants to do something out of that 2/3 of a day, if not, well, Fisher, you can just make your roll at the end of your study session, and I will most likely skip to the end of the evening. Audience would probably skip to the moment where you are warned that your object is ready.
Yeah. Where I'd go pick it up.
You have a comforting meal, because that's probably what you all feel like you need before going there. Something just to help you to pick up a little bit, Well,
Jorg has to do the first hard work. Jorg's the one who has to fly us all in and possibly get shot by a ballista.
Mm-hmm.
Can take it.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably can't, but
you're the first one on the line, Jorg, because as you're going to be flying in, if something goes wrong, you get vaporized, but everyone else survives.
Yeah.
For some reason, Remy feels very calm during breakfast.
You don't know why, but Remy keeps looking at you, and you see this grin in his eyes. Because his beak can't grin, but his eyes can.
Audience gives an inspired speech about how thousands have died so this mission could succeed. We can't fail now. No pressure.
So what I'm hearing is audience isn't allowed to have inspiring leader as a feat.
Well, I don't know if I want to make you roll for that because making that there almost says that you rolled low. But who knows? Let's why not roll a good, what would be a inspiring speech? Persuasion?
It's just
or...
persuasion.
Okay.
It's just persuasion.
Persuade your group.
Sure. I did not roll low. I rolled a 29.
Well, going with the subject of what you said, you rolled pretty good. And it's sort of that gentle slap that everyone gets where, they feel inspired. They want to go, let's go, man. We can do this. And we need to do this. It's for the world. It's to help everyone. Those still alive. And that's the slap. You just gotta keep going until you run out of cake and you get a meat gun. A meat steak for those still alive. So you all feel both inspired and shitty at the same time. And you
Failure
really feel it.
It's not an option.
Mm-hmm.
You really feel inspired, and audience so eloquently puts down the sacrifices that have been made for you to be here that you also really, really feel shitty about it. You leave with that total feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Can't let them down.
Alright. And then I guess we'll teleport. Once we're all ready, we'll teleport to outside the city.
Alright.
And we're all gonna get into our thing and sprinkle the diamond dust on Jorg. With our object also. That will make us.
So,
That
first thing that I want to
I'll
ask.
be a flying.
Fisher?
Yeah, you're fine.
Did you succeed your roll? Did you learn the spell?
It's Arcana, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm assuming a 20 works.
Yes. No, it's not. Yes, of course it is.
Sweet. Then yes.
All right. So you have the spell.
Nerd.
It's prepared.
Got everything.
Did Jorgen audience revise their spell and prepare a good variety of spell to do this?
I mean, I have Dispel Magic, which is pretty much the only spell that's going to be super useful for me.
All right.
Well, I
have
can
the
think
same
of at least
spell
one
list
other
as-
one.
What was the one other one?
It's like we might be able to benefit from you having locate object in case we need it.
Oh, I also have that. Yes.
I have locate object.
I also have
Okay.
locate object. I do have.
Could have it more than one person just in case.
Yes,
Mhm.
I
You
do
know, in
have
case
locate object.
Concentration
Dies.
purposes.
I grabbed-
have detect
I grabbed
magic.
all the
Is-
useful
I don't know if it's like gonna be that useful in a magic tower.
It's gonna be very useful. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that's gonna ping, but that's what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Sometime knowing that the wall is magical can help.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
that you've adjusted your attunements for your gem of seeing.
Yep, I've got the gem of seeing.
You have one. I have one. And Sam, do you have one?
No, I have the ring of X-ray.
Okay, right, yeah. I'm wondering if it would be better to keep my coin attuned until I use it and then swap to the gem.
Well, that would
what
take
else
an hour.
what else is attuned? You don't
Staff
really need
of
any
Power and my
Staff
Arcane
Power.
Touch great sword, which also gives me more spells known and spell points.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I wouldn't get rid of those. I think you're gonna have to decide between the coin and the gem.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I had to unattune my Ring of Protection for it, but
That's okay. Hopefully we're not gonna be being hit by physical attacks.
We'll do the gem. I'm not gonna need the coin.
Yeah, you're gonna roll great.
Famous last word.
Let's get anyone else.
I mean, for what it's worth. Raimi can't fail most of the things he's good at. So
Here, I could attune Fisher because I actually don't need the Hat of Disguise anymore. We have the disguise. I have to return the Hat of Disguise anyway.
You have an open slot.
So yes, I'd have an open slot.
Because you've got the X-ray. And...
X-ray and the helm.
Yeah. Alright.
So
yeah,
I
if
can
you've got an open slot, then...
I'll take the coin for the...
You want the coin?
Yeah, I'll take the...
Okay.
What would be the other one?
The gem.
Yeah, but I already have the Ring of X-ray. I don't know how that would work with the... So, I think the coin would be better.
I mean, it might. Could it double up?
I don't know. Can it double? Well, True Sight gives you sight through walls anyway, though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Would it double up? Could you do the Ring of X-ray to, like, use True Sight through?
To whom was that question?
You.
The DM.
Okay, repeat the question.
If I have both the Gem of Seeing and the X-ray, Ring of X-ray vision, and I use both, then do I have True Sight through the wall?
I think they would work, but remember the limitation of the X-ray: 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, up to 3 feet of wood or dirt. I'm gonna add to audience's dismay magical armor, because the first thing you did was to look at adventurers, female adventurers, and shit, they have armor. Damn it.
Well, yeah, it makes sense. It can't pierce. That's a point you use. It just to solid matter. Yeah, it really just lets you use solid.
You can see
not
through
magical,
some.
not through magical solid. What's the right pierce?
You can easily use an X-ray ring to look through the walls of a peasant hut and things like this.
Yeah.
Through a
or say inside of a box that isn't lined with lead or something.
Yeah.
That isn't lined with lead. Yeah. Okay.
Just think Superman powers.
Up to you, Fisher. Yeah, up to you, Fisher.
Superman can look at what you look like without your clothes. He did it to Lois.
I feel like I am more likely to roll poorly on something.
That's fair.
That would be like, I feel like rolls.
I was also thinking because it's still based off your perception, and I think I have worse perception than you.
I mean, I have a +5.
Yeah, I have a +0.
Yeah.
Which is why I was trying not for me to have one of the gems, because I still might roll poorly, even with True Sight.
I mean, I can also have see invisibility prepared. I do have see invisibility prepared, which is not quite True Sight, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a ways off from True Sight. But
also, Fisher, isn't there an object that you? What object are you attuning yourself to?
The Arcane Touch Greatsword, which I've always put it, the Staff of Power, and then either the Gem of Seeing or the Lucky Coin.
Okay.
Audience, you should say take the Banishing Whip is what you should take.
That's what I was gonna underline because you asked me a question specifically about
that.
Yeah.
I should take the Banishing Whip?
Yeah.
So I can banish away an object creating
unwanted things.
We're going to be facing golems and shit.
Oh, summon thing? Sure, I can take the Banishing Whip.
Yeah, and elemental summons. So being able to just zoop.
Sure, I can take away the Banishing Whip. Inventory. I think that's in the custom items.
Yeah, it's been made on the NDB on long.
Yeah. Banishing.
And then I'll stick with the Gem of Seeing. And
okay.
I just won't roll bad.
Yes.
Do you want to give your coin to Terry?
I mean,
which means you gotta take it out, though.
I mean, if the wizard's not there, taking Terry out isn't necessarily the worst idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think having Terry out will be when something explodes.
Yeah.
Can I fully protect Terry?
Yeah, by sacrificing your reflex.
Okay. Yeah. So for AoE damage.
Because essentially what you're going to do is just grab him like this.
Yeah. So I mean, I think having him will be a very big boon.
That's funny. I didn't even realize. Is that better for me? What the hell is my spell DC?
The only thing that...
Oh, no, mine's also 15.
The only thing that you wouldn't be able to protect him from are persistent gas clouds. Because you'll be able to protect him from the initial blast, which spreads the gas, but then after that, won't change anything even if you hold him in your arms.
Yeah. But we shouldn't have to worry about any of those because we'll all have... And it might be a waste of spell slots. We'll see.
All right.
Air bubble. But...
All right. Looks like we're ready to go.
Last questions?
Yep.
Do you summon Olenek or not?
No.
Does he know Dispel Magic?
He does know spell magic.
Once
we're in, I think we summon him. Well,
I think, guys.
we can put him. We can put him in the. No, we can put him.
I was about to say, like, we could easily just put him inside.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to breathe. If anything, well, I mean, technically he does breathe, but he's breathing the stuff that we don't want. In fact, we ought to consider at some point, like, maybe instead of air bubble, just kind of like having Ornak there in the box just to see what the hell
Ornak would increase our probably airtime inside that area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we summon
Normally
Ornak.
you'd need
later experiment.
Yeah.
Later experiment, yeah.
But because he moves as opposed to normal foliage, he probably consumes more carbon dioxide than a normal tree would.
Yeah.
And produces more oxygen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and just to clear it out, no, he doesn't have the spell magic.
Oh, dang. Yeah, we should still bring it.
People are going to get hurt anyway, and
Yeah.
There's no reason not to bring him except for added stealth rolls, but honestly, once we're in the tower, stealth rolls aren't really what we're going to be doing as much as be trap stuff.
I mean, both.
Both. But
Yeah.
Both is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can bring them. Also, we can always just keep them in our orb until we need them. Or in my storage until we need them.
All right.
I'm sure he'll
love just... Who's holding on to the tunnel thing?
I don't know, but it doesn't need
It doesn't need attunement.
Because
it's just always good to know who has it in their inventory, so it is listed in their inventory in case.
I should probably finish writing it in D&D Beyond.
I honestly assumed it was you, Remy, who had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you know as soon as I've finished writing it in D&D Beyond. I hadn't word proofed it so that the way that it does exactly what I want it to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you got everyone summoned. Everyone is out. You have revised all of your attuned object, your spells.
Beef Ornak on what we're doing.
Yeah. So you're our healer.
We can give him a rundown on the way.
That's gonna sit inside of our storage until.
Mm-hmm. If you ever need healings, we just jump into the storage.
I bet that makes him just feel so good about himself.
Hey, he's gonna be away from all the possible explosions.
Yeah.
Or lightning bolts. Or
also, while you're in here, if you feel free to do any inventory management.
Feel free.
Feel free.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to organize all this stuff.
Yeah.
That said, are there... Actually, one consideration. Does anybody know or have fog cloud prepared?
I think the DM lost sound, or we lost his sound.
I know fog cloud. Quick, the DM's not here. What should I do? Unprepared.
The stream can still hear us.
I could prepare fog cloud.
Me too.
I was thinking
ice knife
about it.
I'm only
ice knife.
Because one fog cloud could be used to obstruct the vision of certain things, since it's not actually like a magical fog. It's just a conjured fog. But also that could also potentially be an opportunity for a teleport across a hallway. Yeah. Sorry, context. My cape allows me to teleport inside a fog up to a certain distance within that fog. It would just be a good thing to have in our back pocket in case it's needed for any reason.
Technically, I could also use fog to charm. Not that I think we'll need to charm large groups of things. But...
I mean, at least dictate what hood I'm going to have for my cowl if somebody has fog cloud.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess it only really takes me a minute.
I had a slot open, so
okay.
I can have it prepared.
I mean, hopefully we won't need it, but... And we pretty much have an infinite amount of rope.
Well, I do need to go to bed, so
Yeah, I think we were planning on
I'm
ending
like,
anyway because we were all prepped. So we were just going over our last prep stuff.
Yeah.
We were not starting the heist night at 11:06.
Yeah, I know that. That would have been crazy.
What are you guys talking about? I think we go for like another 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
I already was falling asleep at work today. I don't think I need. I've been so tired. I don't think I need another super late night.
I think you do need another super late night.
I think if you want me to have any chance at showing up Saturday morning, you do not want me to have another super late night.
Fine. In that case.
So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we could possibly run into. I mean, most of us either have an opportunity to teleport or fly.
Yeah.
Over some obstacles.
Yeah, I've got fly. I've got vortex warp. I've got misty step. I've got levitate with the staff of power.
Yeah. We technically also have infinite uses of dispel magic. We just need to be able to get the lever into the right position.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you joined today. He said with specifically using the lever, we will have to, because if we just stick it on the wall and try and pull it, it's going to try and dispel everything in the room at the same time.
So yeah, we'll have to attach it specifically to the thing we want to dispel.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess this is also a good emergency pull, but don't forget that we can walk on a wall of force.
Yes, I have done that before, and that's what. Yeah, I was very much prepared for that.
Yeah,
makes a great floor, great ramp.
By the way, for the viewers watching, our DM does not have a mic, which is why he's not responding to any of that, and we're just wrapping it.
Been up.
I think last time I did that, it was to create a ramp up a wall of a castle we were attacking.
Actually, I wonder if there's a use case for Globe of Invulnerability in a mage tower.
I assume there will be. Yeah, it kind of depends what. Yeah, stuff.
Well, that's why I said use case. It's like it's really more. It's one of those spells that you never have prepared, but it's great when you have it when you need it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since we don't have a DM, thank you for everyone who's been watching. We're going to end it here tonight. We'll start next session with the heist. Appreciate everyone being here. And stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you to all the viewers.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I was going to say stay safe and stay healthy.
Nah, I got to do the outro.
I mean, he's technically been here the longest.
Yeah.